read this quote in this description about this Google video pushing back against a lawsuit against them for them causing so much repetitiveness in technology and then giving small amounts of novelty. And in this example now, with the explanation, we're not in the 1990s dial-up world anymore. A witty, intelligent, and brilliant, ingenious ad about how smart they are over there with all of those colors and all of those letters and all of those free foods and all of those picnics in parks, and engineers doing self-driving cars and engineers doing mysterious projects and engineering now. And unfortunately, also here on Capitol Hill now, with a whole part of Seattle using time to their advantage to disrupt children's play and to make conditions they want to be the change they wish to see in the world. For consciousness to have children playing and laughing and cheering and screaming and yelling, and drug addicts quickly leaving, and having freedom also now. Repetitiveness and novelty disrupted are a symptom of a civilization who are disrupting spontaneity and serendipity in this world I describe now in Seattle and Capitol Hill has more to do with what those humans are doing on their internet, with what Google says they've made so awesome and fantastic, futuristic and advanced and technologically superior compared to dial-up and 1990s, when a human still would meet a woman and be attracted, a man would still meet a man and be attracted in public, in city, in a location, in a civilization called coffee shops and restaurants, occasionally bars and dance clubs. And now, humans go to Google to search for a dating website and a place to meet someone on Tinder to have sex and have their consciousness suddenly appear magical and mystical and reward them with some stimulation for all of their money they earned from remote work now. Ordering Grubhub and getting food at restaurants for takeout. Marijuana at cannabis shops for mystery. And emotion now. Repetition working to solve climate disruption for children and babies and young humans growing up now called climate change by those scientists who make their information available on a business called a word and letters described as an alphabet with colors described as neuroscience, quantum computing, and AI and robotics now. In other words, whenever a human, and especially a group of people and folks and humans, start to change repetition and novelty, they are interfering with a process in a system called brain and body and world. They are now doing what psychologists do, psychiatrists do, social workers do, counselors achieve, staff and workers and landlords praise with social housing, and city council members and elected officials and mayors and governors approve, funding their form of life on Earth, a planet, an object floating in outer space now. In a community they call indigenous and primitive, where men and women have no duality. Have no problems. And no longer need a military, and no longer need a police department, and no longer need anyone to show up and say to someone, stop saying to that woman in the middle of the night what you're going to do, and stop stomping on her door. And maybe she won't be so scared and play music and sing so loud. Birds wake up late the next morning now. Repetition. Novelty. Children understand repetition more than anyone, and young humans are most at risk for novelty, not within standards provided by their parents or their care providers. From a person who goes and takes mushrooms and swallows Adderall and carries a pistol and a knife dressed in black, deciding when novelty has been approved and repetition has caused consciousness to be too neutral now.